Okay, here's the video, the second video on inscribed angles. Um, so what did we get from the first video? Well, let's write a little formula, maybe a little thing up here real quick. We understood what an inscribed angle is versus a central angle. But for this assignment, we're gonna pretty much stick to only seeing inscribed angles. And pretty much the rule or the little formula you want to put is this. Just draw a little circle for yourself right there. Ooh, that's pretty good. And that's the center, right? And just remember what? Well, just remember this one's the smaller one. The angle will be the smaller one. So if this is x, this one would have to be what? Double of x, or twice of it. Twice 2 times x. That's what we learned from the first video, right? And again, an example was what? Well, you can put an example like if this one's 20 degrees, then this one's what? Double it, right? 40. Again, sometimes they'll give you the 40 and then you just divide it by 2 to get 20, or sometimes you get the 20 and multiply by 2. Just remember that the arc is the larger one. All right, let's start looking at these. Here goes number 1. Right, so we start off pretty easy, right? That's why I have a lot of them, because it's like we're gonna build up. So just watch what I'm doing and don't think it's this easy. Wait till you get to these last ones when we got all these crazy lines, so you're gonna get mixed up. So follow along till the end. Okay, here's number 1. Again, I'm not gonna pause, or I'm not gonna tell you when to pause, but as soon as I focus it and you need to draw it because you don't have this paper, then you pause it, you draw it, and then you continue, you push play, right? Okay, so if they want to find this angle, what do I got to do? Well, I recommend that you use your pencil and make this dark, or use a pen, or use some highlighter so you can see where this arc is. Well, this angle is creating which arc? Oh, this one here. This one here, and this one's what? This one here says it's 154. So this one has to be what? Whatever 154 divided by 2, right? This one's half. This one's the larger one, so this one has to be half of it. 154 divided by 2 is, I think it's 77. Let's see. 154 divided by 2. 77. Okay, so that means this one's 77. Or if you do 77 times 2, it'll be 154, right? Okay, that's how you do it. Easy one, right? But again, you're gonna see by me using the colors and the highlighters or whatever, it's gonna help you a lot to see it, because later when we got a bunch of lines, it's not gonna be as easy. Look at number 2 now. Again, this one has not just a simple angle. Then they start drawing lines across, some lines that really just pretty much are there to throw you off. Try to like ignore that, or mainly not ignore it, but only focus on what you need to focus on. So if this is the angle here, I'm gonna follow that line, and I'm gonna follow that line, and I don't need to look at that line. Forget about that line. Just put the points where that angle is. Try to ignore that little line there, and you just focus on the arc. You see, if this one's 60, what's this one? Remember, this one's the bigger one. Or look at your formula again. This is the one that's doubled, so this one has to be half of it. If this one's 60, this one has to be 30. Right, 30 times 2 is 60, or 60 divided by 2 is 30. Okay, moving along. Number 3. Again, here's where you got to pause it, pause it. Okay, pause it. When you're ready, push play after you copy this problem, and then we'll move along. Which is the angle that they see? There's a bunch of angles here. They just want you to find this one, right? But you got to do something to really help it stand out. So again, if you don't have like highlighters or color pencils or something, at least make the lines just darker with your pencil. I know that this angle is only between this line and this line, see? You just got to, and you know what? Go to that line and put a dot there, and go to the end of that line and put a dot there. And see, you just got to look at the arc. And I know there's 2 other lines there, but just kind of ignore them, right? We don't need that. We just got to find out how much this arc is right here. Well, why does this have 100 and why does this have 70? Well, because from here to here is 70, and then it picks up from this point, and it goes from here to here is another 100. So what's the total? What's the total amount if I add the 100 and the 70? Well, this means that this arc is what? 170. Okay, great. I got this arc 170. Does that mean this one's also 170? No, remember you take half of it. So 170 divided by 2 is equal to, I don't know, 170 divided by 2. Oh, 85, guys. 85. See, that's how I got this 85. So here we didn't have one complete arc, but it was like this piece from here to here is 100, and then this piece continues from here to here. Just add them up. Okay, number 4. I think it's another similar one, right? So let's follow here's the angle, so follow just the 2 lines, the 2 rays that are forming this angle here. And then use dots so you can see that I got to go from here to here. I got to go all the way around. And do I got this measure here from here to here? Yes, it's 110. And then it continues here from here to here. It's another 80 more. So does everybody agree this whole arc, 110 plus 80? 110 plus 80 is, I think it's 190, right? The whole arc is 190. So how much is this one? It's not 190. Remember, you got to take half. So 190 divided by 2. What's that going to be? 95. Okay. So this is 95. Not too bad, huh? Okay, let's move on. They're going to get trickier. All right, let's look at number 5. Oh, actually, now we're just kind of going the other way. Now we're starting with the angle. If we're starting with 55, right, let's follow this. There's the angle, it's 55. They're giving me now the inside one. Now if I'm going from in to out, that's when you double it. Remember that? If this is 55, the other one is twice of 55, so this has to be whatever 2 times 55 is. That's that means this one is what? 110. Remember our little rule here? Remember this, if this is X or whatever this one's double of it, twice of it. An example, if this one's 20, well, 20 times 240. So now we're just kind of going the other way, right? Now they're giving you the inscribed angle. And if that's 55, double it to get the arc. Okay, 6. All right, so again, they're gonna try to draw different stuff here to throw you off, but what are you gonna do to not get like distracted by some of these lines that you don't need to look at, trace, trace, trace. Look at, I'm just going to trace these two lines. Try to ignore that third line. See, this one didn't have a third line. It was kind of easy to see, but as soon as they give you the same type of problem, put a line like that, people think it's a little bit more complicated. It's the same thing, right? So use the dots too. That means I gotta find this much. Well, forget about that line. If the angle is 48, this one's what? If the inscribed angle is 48, the arc is not exactly 48, it's what? Twice, or double it. 2 times 48. That's what it's gonna measure. So 2 times 48 is, I think it's 96. 48 times 2. Oh, not 5 times 2. 96. All right, now let's get to the difficult ones. All right, look at number 7. We got about 4 more. That's it. We're almost done. All right, 7. Here's where you pause it, copy the problem if you were not able to print this out. Now we got like a bunch of lines, right? And they say, oh, it says right here, find the measure of EDC. Let me see where E, use the dots. E to D to C. I gotta find all this from E. I gotta find how much this arc is. That's what it says. Find from E to D to C. Now, why didn't they just say from E to C? Does anybody know why they didn't just say, hey, just go from E to C? Because what if somebody would have went this way? They would have went, oh, let's find this one, E to C. They would have went this way, see? And they're like, I don't know, do I go this way or do I go this way? So that's why they got to use like another letter to so that you know which exact direction to go, right? Okay, so E to D to C. So now it's this one. Now if I look at this end or this point and I go down and I go to that line and I go to this point and I go down, does everybody agree that this is what? The angle is 107? The angle is 107. Try to ignore these lines. Ignore these other extra lines. They're throwing you off, right? If this is 107, the arc is what? Double of it. 2 times 107. Don't let these other little lines throw you off. It's still the same thing. It's still easy, right? 2 times 107 is 214. So it's 214 degrees. All right, see that? So just focus on obviously what they're asking you to find, and once you narrow it down to looking at the inscribed angle, you're going to be okay. Another similar one, find the measure of XZ. Okay, see, this is tricky. I don't know. See, this one, I don't know if I go, this one is not, I don't like the way they did this. I don't know if I should go X, or here's X and here's Z. Should I go this way or should I go this way? Well, I think it's this way, right? Because the angle's right here. Right, if I look at this line that gets to X and I look at this, yeah, they actually should have wrote, find the measure of arc what? X, Y, Z. They should have used that letter in the middle so it can be really clear. So anyways, yeah, we're gonna go with this. And long story short, well, if this one is 79, the inscribed angle 79, this whole thing is what? Twice of it? Whatever 2 times 79 is, that is, I don't know. 79 times 2. 158. Okay, last two are the tough ones. Here it is. Don't let all these crazy lines throw you off. If you just focus on the angle and you use highlighters or pens or something, it'll help you out. Whoa, look at number 9. There it is. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so honestly, look, just focus on this angle, this 35, but I want you to really do it, highlight or make darker or color or something those two sides of that angle. So you don't look at this other stuff. This other stuff is like these other lines here are going to throw you off. And I'm going to put a dot where this is, and I'm going to put a dot where this is. And if you ignore this line and if you ignore this line, if this 35 from here to here is making what? This exact arc that they want you to find, see? So that is what? That's going to be 2 times 35, right? If this is 35, this one's double it. So 35 times 2 happens to be 70. So that means that this arc is 70. That's the answer, okay? But check this out. Let me trip you out right here. You guys saw that? Now, isn't it true that if I also get this point where this arc is right here, it's also where this line is, and this is also where this line, and it also makes that, don't these two other lines over here also make this arc 70? Yeah, it does, right? The blue lines are making that arc, and so are now these pink lines making that 70 degrees. Well, if this one is 70 and you take half as 35, then guess what? If this is 70 and these two lines are also connected to that arc, this one would also be what? 35 degrees right there. Okay, that's a little tricky, right? Hopefully I didn't lose you there. Okay, let's this angle right here. Let's do another similar one. Last one, guys. Here it is. All right, which one's 54? Oh my God, which one's 54? Well, it's this line, and I'm gonna go to the arc and put a dot there, and this line. You see, make them darker or color them or something and use dots. Well, this angle, try to ignore these other lines, are making what? Only this arc, and guess what? That's the arc in question. That is the arc in question. And if this one's 54 and it forms this arc, this is an inscribed angle, this is 54, this one's going to be 54 times 2, right? Double of it. That's going to be 108. So that means that this is what? 108. 108. But then again, like I was telling you earlier, aren't these other, and I know they're not asking you, but I'm just telling you. Won't you agree that this arc also connects this line with what? This line right here? Doesn't this angle also make that arc? Yeah. So if this one over here, the red, was 108 and take half of 54, well, this is 108. If they were to ask you, this one would also be here, 54. I know they're not asking you, but I'm just showing you. Right, the first one that we looked at was this red one here, see? Now I'm going to get colorful. All right, well, there it is. All right, good luck with the assignment. There it is.